Jeff, why are we parked inside this covered bridge?
Because, Ray, we're going to try to summon the spirit of Emily.
And how are we going to do that?
We're going to honk 3 times at midnight. Hi, I'm Jeff Belanger.
And I'm Ray Auger, and welcome to the New England Legends podcast. This week, we're taking you to a picturesque covered bridge in Stowe, Vermont, in search of a ghost.
This bridge is formally called Gold Brook Bridge because it's named after the stream that runs beneath it. But regionally, it's better known as Emily's Bridge.
Who is Emily? Though I'm guessing I should be asking, who was Emily?
You want the truth?
Yeah, I always want the truth, Jeff.
I don't know who Emily was, and neither does anyone else. But there are 2 prominent versions of the backstory on this haunt. The first version involves a star-crossed lover's story where a girl named Emily was going to sneak off and elope with her boyfriend. They agreed to meet right here at Gold Brook Bridge on Gold Brook Road at midnight and then run away. And when he didn't show, she hanged herself from the rafters.
Ooh, I bet that explains why some people report hearing scraping on their car's roof when they drive through. It must be her feet dragging across the car?
Yeah, I've heard that one, and it's a juicy nugget for sure. But let me tell you the second version of the story. In the second version, Emily met a man and fell in love, though Emily fell harder than her bridegroom. When the big day arrived, Emily waited at the church in her wedding gown, but her groom never showed. In a fit of fury, Emily jumps on the family wagon and whips the horses into a full-speed gallop. She's determined to track down her man and drag him back to the church. As she approaches Gold Brook Bridge, she's traveling too fast to negotiate the turn. The carriage tumbles right at the bridge. Emily is killed, forever haunting this area. In some versions of the second story, Emily's driving a car instead of a horse-drawn carriage, but the reason and the results are the same.
So is there any historical record of any death in this area?
Death, no, but check this out. I did find 2 accounts of accidents here. The Gold Brook Bridge was constructed in 1844. It's 50 feet long, and it's Vermont's only surviving Howe Truss covered bridge.
And I guess Howe Truss is a type of bridge?
That it is. But here's the crazy thing about the legend. Local historians will tell you that there was no Emily who died at the bridge, no truth to the story whatsoever. It's just something someone made up and it's stuck. But it turns out there actually is something to this one.
There is?
Do you remember playing the telephone game when you were in elementary school?
Sure, it's when one kid whispers a sentence into another kid's ear and they repeat that to the next kid, on. And by the end, the sentence often sounds pretty different from the original.
That's true. But often there are nuggets that survive the telephone game. Pieces of truth that mix up with the story. If you go back far enough, you can find out what happened.
Is that the case here at Emily's Bridge?
I was searching the newspaper archives when I found this article from September 15th, 1897, the News and Citizen newspaper from Morrisville, Vermont. Give this a read.
All right. The headline reads, The Accident. It says, a 4-horse team from Luce and Lovejoy's stable, driven by Don Smith and carrying 21 passengers, was tipped over near Gold Brook Bridge and many occupants injured. A bad place in the road was the cause. The whole load went down a bank about 6 feet. The article then goes on to the list of injured people. It's worth noting that there's no one named Emily listed here.
In one version of the legend, Emily's horse-drawn carriage loses control right here at the bridge. It turns out that has happened here before, even if there were no fatalities and no one named Emily. Okay, now check out this December 21st, 1948 article from the Burlington Free Press.
All right, this headline reads, 2 Morrisville young men hurt as car goes off-road. Article says 2 Morrisville young men were injured at 8 tonight when the car in which they were riding left the Stowe-Waterbury Road and landed on its top under the Gold Brook Bridge.
Sound familiar?
Yeah, that's similar to the second version of Emily's legend, the one that takes place in the car. Of course, no one died in this accident either, and again, there's no one named Emily.
I get that, but still we found 2 newspaper accounts that could at least serve as the seeds for this legend that's been around since at least the late 1960s. You blend some truth with a plausible story, and it was enough to stick. Even to the point where people come to this bridge today, just like we have, in the hopes of experiencing something ghostly.
All right, so we're going to honk 3 times?
Yes.
It seems to me I've heard this part of the story before somewhere else. This whole honking 3 times thing, did that originate here in Stowe?
Honking 3 times definitely did not originate in Stowe. This tradition predates the automobile by centuries.
So I'm guessing this has something to do with Christianity, the whole Holy Trinity, Jesus rising from the dead on the 3rd day, and things like that.
It's true. The number 3 comes up a lot in religions, and not just Christianity. There's the 3 jewels of Buddhism, the Hindu Trimurti, the 3 pure ones of Taoism, to name, well, 3.
So that's why we honk 3 times?
Sort of. We're going to place the origins of this part of the legend at least 500 years ago to the medieval period in Europe. During this time, local churches would ring their bells 3 times in honor of a person in town who just died. It's called the death knell.
Oh, I love that Metallica song, For Whom the Bell Tolls.
It's a great song, and it's based on the 1940 Ernest Hemingway book of the same name. It's about hearing the death knell and asking for which person the bell tolls.
So how did we make the jump from church bells to car horns?
The step in between was boats and ships, who always rang their bell 3 times when they returned to port.
So 3 car horns was the next logical step. All right, are we really going to do this at Emily's Bridge? What do we expect will happen?
As you mentioned earlier, some have reported the dragging feet across the roof of the car. Others see the apparition of Emily herself before she vanishes out of sight. The 3 horns seem to summon her. Before we try this, Ray, I'll let you have the last word.
Well, as we've learned, there were accidents here in the past, and over the years, enough people have come here to try this for themselves that the legend itself has become real. And even if we can't pinpoint an Emily attached to Gold Brook Bridge, maybe there is more to this story.
So are you ready?
I'm ready.
New England is a weird and wonderful place, and that's what we celebrate here on the New England Legends podcast each week. You can help us out by posting a review on iTunes and telling others about what we do.
And you can see some photos of Emily's Bridge on our website at ournewenglandlegends.com. Just click on this episode.
Until next time, remember, the bizarre is closer than you think.